What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love the Shy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we're going to be talking about the Shy Season 5, Episode 8. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to go over all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. But this was a solid episode in my opinion. Shout out to your boy Emmett. He went in there. He did not allow Tiffany to break him down. She was trying to throw them cheeks at him, but he said, nah, I'm a changed man. I can change. I ain't gonna go for the old okie doke. Y'all already know what Tiffany was on. She's pissed off that Emmett and Keisha are messing around. She thinks everything that Emmett does is him trying to get back at her, which is not the case. He actually likes Keisha, as he told her in the last episode. I've been clapping Keisha's cheeks since high school, so what are you even talking about? This ain't no get back at you. I'm doing these things for Keisha because I actually love her and I want this relationship to work. So I'm happy that Emmett went along with his whole game plan. He did not crack under the pressure and he did what was needed to be done. And we know he has another test. He has to tell Keisha the truth. His pops told him, like, look, you know what you got to do. You got to tell, Keisha the truth about what happened. And I agree with his pops because we know how Tiffany is moving. You know what I'm saying? This girl was trying to use any type of, leverage she can over Emmett to make it seem like he was trying to mess around with her. And, anything to mess up that relationship, I believe Tiffany will be willing to do. So he needs to go ahead and come out, listen to what his pops told him. I told you guys, Dom even told him this earlier on in the season. And she pretty much told him when he comes out and tell the truth, from the very beginning, that's the best route to go because you don't have to worry about all the different things coming as far as you lying. If you come out and express the truth at the beginning, you're going to be set. So hopefully Emmett does do that. That way he doesn't have to worry about Keisha being upset with him when the truth comes out. Now, also your boy Rashad, he decided to hook up with Tiara. We're definitely going to talk about that in this video. You already know it's going to be some issues. That relationship that he got with Deja, that's probably going to be over, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Especially if this does get out. We know secrets don't last in these TV shows. So Rashad, even though he was doing good, he slipped up and now he's going to have to deal with those consequences of his actions. And I'm pretty sure Treg will be upset, including, of course, Deja. Now, we're going to get into this recap. I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. This episode was centered around Valentine's Day. I mean, pretty much all the characters had on like pink or red or whatever. Your boy Emmett was trying to get this last Valentine's Day card. And all of a sudden, this goofy looking dude comes over. He is trying to get the last card as well. But Emmett is like, hell nah, I'm getting this last card. So they end up rushing to the card. Emmett was able to get it. This was a funny scene. Emmett was laughing at the dude. All of a sudden, the dude goes back. He grabs the envelope and he just, crunches it up or whatever, pissing Emmett off. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, the dude was petty, but Emmett got the last card. Your boy Rob is there getting his card as well, including Rashad. He's getting the card. So everybody's pretty much getting a Valentine's Day card, and they're all dressed to impress. But Dardanelle doesn't even know it's Valentine's Day. I mean, he walks right past the cars, the balloons. I mean, he doesn't see that at all. He's in a zone, and he's not even thinking about Valentine's Day, which we know later on in the episode, he ends up revealing that he didn't even know it was Valentine's Day. Then we get to your boy Jake. Jake is still in his feelings from what happened in last week's episode. We know he was going through this trauma as well, losing a baby. It's not just affecting Gemma. It's not always about Gemma. Jake is going through some mental things himself, and he's trying to express those feelings to Gemma, but it seems like she's more concerned about what Gemma wants, and it's understandable. She's going through it. She physically went through it herself and mentally. But all I'm saying is this: what about Jake? You know what I'm saying? What about your boy Jake? It doesn't seem like his feelings really matter. Anything he says is always an issue with it, right? Now, Jake, no matter what, he's still going to be there. He said, you know what? I'm going to skip school. I'm going to be here for you. It's Valentine's Day. Gemma didn't want him to stay, but Jake, he said, screw all that. I'm staying. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be here for you no matter what. So Jake is still showing us that he's maturing as a, character throughout this show, and he's willing to do the right thing. Now, we get to Dardanelle. Dardanelle is telling Emmett that he's thinking about proposing to his mother, Jada, and he wants his blessing. Emmett is looking at him like, really? Like, ain't no way. Like, you ain't changed. Like, how do I know you're not going to mess this up again? And Dardanelle is telling him, like, look, he's taking this serious. He's not playing around. But we know Dardanelle, he doesn't even know it's Valentine's Day. Keisha comes out. She says, happy Valentine's Day. And Dardanelle's like, damn, it's Valentine's Day? he didn't really think nothing of it, but he still went out there and said, I'm going to go and get a card after pretty much playing Valentine's Day in general, right? Now, after this, we get to Fatima and your boy Treg. And Treg, he gives her a Valentine's Day card. He apologizes for what happened in last week's episode, but it's the same thing over and over and over. I mean, are you going to come out and tell everybody about yourself or what? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know anyway, but this whole city council thing is getting to his head, and we're going to continue to have the same exact thing with these two. This is what Fatima is telling him, like, look, what are you going to do? But Treg tells her, look, he needs more time, and the two are going to meet up later on in the episode. But I'm looking like, man, how long are we going to continue to see this? Come out and get the info out there to the people. Or Fatima going to mess around and put it out there herself. She's pretty much warned you already. So that's exactly what I'm expecting to happen within this storyline. Now we get to Tiffany and Emmett. Tiffany wants Emmett to watch EJ for her if he can, but Emmett's like, nah, I can't do that. I'm going to be busy with the other kids. And she's like, can't Keisha help and all this stuff? Well, Keisha, she's going to be in a hotel. Emmett has got her a hotel. He's given her a me day where she doesn't have to worry about all the stresses of the world, and she can just focus on herself and have a good old time, right? Now, Tiffany's upset with that. Like, you never did that for me and this and that. I mean, she's going to have an issue with anything this man does. It's quite obvious. She does not want to see them two together, and she's going to continue to be petty no matter what. Of course, Tiffany makes it about herself, talking about you only doing this because you're trying to get back at me. No, he's not doing this because he's trying to get back at you. He's doing this because he's in love with Keisha, and he wants to look out for her, and he believes that's the best thing to do. On top of that, she was upset that Keisha is even moving in there with Emmett, and Emmett didn't tell her. Well, you didn't tell Emmett about Rob and what you did as far as moving in, so he doesn't have to tell you anything. He's a grown man. Like, stop being petty. But we know Tiffany, y'all. She's going to continue to do exactly what she wants to do, and she's going to take her frustrations out on Rob when they're having a conversation later on in the episode. Now, we get to Lynnae and Kevin, and she's kind of picking at him because of the gift that he got Simone for Valentine's Day. He got her a star named or whatever, and he says, look, this is what she likes. She's different. He knows what his girlfriend likes. Of course, Lynnae is like, nah, girls like flashy stuff or whatever. Well, that's what you like, Lynnae. Simone don't like that stuff, and she's pretty much jealous. Let's just be honest. I guess it took for Kevin to hook up with Simone for her to really show her true colors, but she really likes Kevin for real, and Kevin is like, well, do you got a dude or whatever? She's like, no, I'm not looking for one, you know? And he says, well, if you need me, I'm always here or whatever. I'm here for you. So we know Kevin, he pretty much just put it out there like, look, I'll be with you for real. That's how I took it. We know Kevin likes Lynnae a lot, but Lynnae put him in the friend zone. But don't be coming at him when he get a girlfriend, talking about the stuff that he's doing and stuff like that. Don't do that. You should have gone ahead and just got with him, you know what I'm saying, if you really liked him. But we're going to see how this all is going to play out because we know Papa and Bakari, they all up on Lynnae. And that's going to be very interesting to see how they develop that storyline. Now we get to Jake and Gemma, and this was the exclusive clip that they put out. We already broke it down, so we already knew what Gemma was going to be on. She was talking about a dream that she had with her and Jake and how everything was good. They were just bonding with the baby. But once Jake started asking her questions, she kind of got upset because Jake asked her about, you know, does she kind of feel relieved about what happened? And I think it was a very interesting question, seeing that Gemma initially did not want the baby in the first place. So he was just, you know, creating conversations or whatever. But she got pissed off at him, and it seemed like everything he said after that, she didn't really want to hear. I mean, he asked her about, was the baby a boy or a girl? She said, why does that even matter? He's just trying to create conversation. You know, he's trying to get you to open up, trying to make you feel good and just talk to you. But that does not seem like something Gemma really wants to do. And she tells him, it doesn't matter what you say. You can't say anything that's going to make me feel better. So, I mean, it is what it is. As I told you guys, I believe they both need time to process this. And, you know, maybe having a break would be, you know, a good thing for them. But we're going to see how they're going to play it out as far as this whole storyline. Because Jake, he is very mature as far as trying to stick around and be there for Gemma, even though they're both going through this, because it's not just about Gemma, it's about how Jake feels too. And this continues to happen as far as, I guess, his feelings being ignored and what he's going through, but hopefully that is fixed before the end of the season. Then we get to Rashad, Tiara, and Treg, and Tiara has invited Rashad to dinner with her and Treg. She's like, look, we can run up, do this tab. You and Deja, y'all can come. So now your boy Rashad, he cool. He's like, look, I guess I got a good place to go now. We know he's going to plan on taking Deja to Smokey's, but she wasn't gonna let that happen, right? So she said, come on with us. You can have a good old time. We got a good spot with a good view. Of course, Rashad is talking about the things that he's doing for Deja, writing her a poem and stuff like that. And your girl Tiara, she was liking all that. She's like, man, I wish you would do that for me, Treg. And the whole time, you can just tell from her facial expression, she was liking Rashad a little bit or whatever. And she tells Treg, like, look, he's a nice guy. So we see that chemistry. We see the attention that she wants, but she's not getting it from Victor. So I guess she's going to have to get that from your boy, Rashad. Then we get to Rob and Tiffany, and Tiffany's upset. She's upset about Emmett and Keisha. She's taking out her frustrations on Rob, even though he's in there burning stuff up with the food. She's still very disrespectful, I guess, on the way she's talking to him. And he's like, what the hell is going on with you? Like, what's your problem? She's talking about how she doesn't like how Emmett is moving, whatever, with Keisha. And Rob is like, look, why does that even matter? Like, why you care so much about, what they doing? And of course, she's talking about, well, that's my ex and my best friend. She doesn't like it, but it is what it is. Shit happens, as Rob explained to her. Just leave it alone. They grown, you know what I'm saying? So do what you got to do for yourself. Stop worrying about them. But we know Tiffany, that's definitely not going to happen with her. Now, Dardanelle and Jada, they run into some old high school friends, and they end up deciding to have dinner together. We know Dardanelle wasn't trying to kick it with them at all, but that's exactly what they end up doing. And once they did get to dinner, he wasn't feeling some of the things that he's done in his past that they end up bringing up. Then we get to Nina and Dre. They have finally returned in this episode. We ain't seen them in a while. At least that's how it feels for me. They end up, just hanging out at home. We know they was about to leave, but Nina was like, look, she just wants to, stay home and kick it. And that's exactly what they end up doing. It is good to see that that therapy that they was taking is working. And it doesn't seem like there's any negativity going on within the relationship as of right now. Then we get to the dinner with Rashad and Deja, and of course Tiara and Treg, and everything is going good. But we know your boy Rashad, he's giving these compliments to Tiara. He's telling Treg that he needs to pay attention to this beautiful queen sitting right next to you, because we know your boy Treg was all over his phone doing business or whatever he was doing. Who really knows with him? But when he said that Deja, she kind of gave him like a look. And then Tiara, she had a look on her face like she liked it. Now, Deja gave a toast to that special kind of love, the kind of love that would change your life, right? She said that, and she was waiting for Rashad to come back to say something else, but he didn't. He ended up agreeing on what she said, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? That was it. But she was definitely expecting him to give her some type of compliment, in my opinion. Now, we get to Tiff and Rob, and Tiff is talking about what Emmett has done for Keisha, talking about he did something special for her, and I agree with Rob. Like, what does that have to do with him? Like, this dude is always doing special things for you. Remember, he took you, and allowed you and your son to stay with him. He didn't have to do that. He was looking out for you. But I guess you don't see that. All you see is what Emmett and Keisha is doing, and you're trying to compare yourself to them, trying to get what they have. And you don't have that. You need to focus on yourself and Rob and stop worrying about Emmett. I mean, it's crazy, but I guess she doesn't see it. Watching Waiting to Exhale, and she was like, man, I need to go ahead and just get this off my mind. I need to have this conversation with Tiffany. I need to be the mature person out of this. So she ended up hitting Tiffany up and asking, can she come and meet so they can talk, right? Now, Tiffany, at first, she was about to text her and tell her, like, look, I'm enjoying my Valentine's Day, and she couldn't make it. But we know that was a lie. Rob, he was leaving, and Tiffany, she had nothing else to do, so she ended up going to meet up with Keisha. Then we get to Simone and Kevin, and Simone likes the gift that Kevin has got her. She stated that this was the best gift anybody has got for her, right? And Kevin feels good. So it seems like what he said to Lynnae earlier on in the episode was true. I just want to know how long this is going to last, because we know deep down inside, Kevin still has feelings for Lynnae, and we can tell Lynnae definitely has those feelings for him based off her, previous actions. Then we get back to Jake and Gemma asks Jake, do you think we will ever have kids one day? And, Jake says he hopes so. So we're going to see what's going to happen, but I just don't see the two being together long term. Then we get to Bakari and Papa, and Bakari is talking about how everything that happened is not his fault, but Papa had to tell him, like, look, it is your fault. You created that event which caused Gemma to lose her baby. I mean, you didn't personally do it, but you created it. All that madness that happened, and it would be best if you just apologize. We know Bakari ain't really trying to do that, but they end up talking about Valentine's Day, and if he had a Valentine's, we know he likes Lynnae. Well, Papa tells him he will write, the letter on the card for him, but he has to make sure he talks to Jake to squash all of this. So that's exactly what McCray is going to plan to do. And, Papa will be helping him out with that card. Now, we get to Dardanelle and Jada. They're having a dinner with their old high school friends, and they keep bringing up all this, negative stuff from the past. They're laughing and stuff like that. But Dardanelle is taking this personal. He's not liking, his past and some of the things that he has done to Jada and how, their lives end up playing out. And he wants to make sure the next time, or this time right now, that he doesn't mess this up. Now we finally get to Keisha and Tiffany's conversation. Keisha, of course, is talking about how she doesn't really know what to say, but she does tell Tiffany, like, look, so do you expect us to hide our feelings just to make you feel good? And Tiffany was like, well, that would be nice. Like, she just wants to control everything, right? Tiffany's asking her all these questions about when they start talking and all this stuff. I mean, look, it doesn't really matter right now. They're together. And the crazy thing is, Tiffany had a horrible example talking about, what if I would have got with Nuck? How would you feel? You wouldn't like it. You talking about Nuck if you buck? You talking about the same Nuck that Keisha was going to see that end up, getting kidnapped because she was trying to go see Nuck, right? Nuck if you buck is a horrible example. No one cares about Nuck at all. I'm telling you that right now. Who gives a damn? Go mess with him. Get shot up. Live that life. I mean, you want to do business with Nuck. You want to do business with, Q in the 63rd Street mob, right? With the weed thing. Go ahead and kick it with him, because a life with Nuck is not going to end well. So that example was just horrible. No one cares about Nuck if you buck. Screw that dude. But Tiffany, she wants to control the board, as I told you guys. She doesn't really care about what Keisha is talking about. And she's pretty much just pissed off, right? Talking about people don't change. And, do you trust Emmett? What if he does the same thing he did to me, to you? And Keisha, of course, tells her she trusts Emmett, because we know Tiffany don't trust him. And Keisha tells Tiffany, you just got to give it time. But Tiffany ain't trying to hear that. I mean, she came over there for a 2-minute conversation and leaves. Like, really? Who does that? I guess your girl Tiffany does. Now, we get back to Dre and Nina. As I told you guys earlier, it seems like that, that therapy that they've been getting this season is working. They having a good old time in this episode, and hopefully everything goes well within their marriage. We did see, some signs that things would not work out earlier on, but as of right now, it's definitely looking good. Now, Dardanelle tells Jada, like, look, I'm not trying to mess up. I screwed up in the past. I want to make sure this time around, even though it's probably the 11th or 12th time, that I get it right. And he's very serious at what he's talking about. Jada tells him don't really worry about, what happened. They was young and dumb. They made a lot of mistakes when they was younger. So no biggie. But Dardanelle, he ain't playing around. He really wants to take this to the next level. Then we get to Rashad, and Rashad ain't playing around. He comes upstairs. He sees Tiara, and he's like, man, you look good enough to eat. He's asking her where she's going. Of course, Treg, he comes in, and, he's telling him, all right, don't worry about all that. And, you focus on your Valentine's. But Tiara, she liked that. She liked that attention. And she liked it because she was smiling. And we can just tell from her body language throughout the whole episode. But I'm going to tell you right now, Treg, he ain't thinking about Tiara. He's thinking about Fatima, which is sad because Tiara has to sit there with no Valentine. And we know Treg will be having dinner with Fatima later on in the episode. Now, Deja ended up hearing what Rashad said about Tiara, talking about you're good enough to eat. And she was pissed off. She said you don't do nothing like that, especially on Valentine's Day. And she states that the only reason Tiara is even showing you any type of attention is because I fixed you up. You know what I'm saying? I got you all clean and stuff like that. We know Rashad didn't like that at all. But she does ask him, like, look, you got a crush on her. Just be honest. Rashad is like, look, I've been locked up over 10 years. I got a crush on everybody. Now, Deja wasn't trying to hear that at all. And she ends up leaving. And I knew once she left, I knew what time it was, because Treg gonna be kicking it with Fatima. We got Tiara there by herself. She's getting all pretty and all that stuff like that on Valentine's Day. We got Rashad there. His Valentine's done left. You already know what time it is. It was bound to happen eventually. Then we get to Tiffany. She pops up at Emmett's spot. And you already know what time it is. You already know what she on. She trying to get those cheeks clapped. She trying to mess Emmett's whole life up. And everything that he has worked out with Keisha, she is trying to throw that straight away. But Emmett is not going to allow her to do that. Now, she does ask him, like, you still got feelings for me. I know it. Like, you don't love me and all this stuff. Emmett, he kept it real. He's like, look, I do love you. But not in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? You are the mother of my child. And that's about it. I got love for you, but if you think I'm in love and I want to be with you, it ain't happening, right? Tiffany doesn't stop. She tries to push up on him, trying to get him to slip up, but he's like, nah, I'm in a relationship. I'm not on that no more. I'm a changed man. This is something that Tiffany was talking about, how people can't change. Well, Emmett has definitely changed. He ain't on you no more. He's moved on to Keisha, right? And Tiffany was like, man, that's crazy. Like, you can be loyal to Keisha, but not me. She felt some type of way about that. Now, if you go back and you look at the history between Tiffany and Emmett, we know Emmett has done his dirt, and this is all before they actually got married. Emmett did his thing. He was out there messing with all types of girls. Hell, Tiffany was getting clapped up by a lot of different dudes too, if you go back to the past. But even besides all of that, when they officially got married, Emmett never cheated on her. You know what I'm saying? He never cheated on her. He was actually loyal to her when they officially got married. Yes, he did mess with Dom, but he messed with her before they was officially married. So this whole marriage that they started, Emmett came in and he said, you know what, I'm going to be loyal. He felt bad about what he did with Dom. And once he, told Tiffany the truth, because he felt bad about it, he told Tiffany the truth. You guys can go back. He told her the truth. And that's when she got pissed off and she started to do what she's been doing, wanting this whole open marriage and all that stuff, sleeping with all types of different people. This is why Tiffany is doing the things that she's doing. But what Emmett failed to do was tell her that, yes, he did sleep with Dom, but that was before they officially got married. I just wanted him to tell her, like, look, yeah, I messed with her, but I didn't mess with her when we was actually married. This was before. If he had told her that, I don't know how Tiffany would have responded, but I think it should have been said. You know what I'm saying? Because technically he didn't do it while they were married. Some people say it doesn't really matter, and that's cool or whatever. But I always stated, when it was all said and done, if she felt like she needed to go out or whatever, they should have just got a divorce from the very get-go. That way, we don't even have to be having this conversation, and it can be a completely different, context when it comes to this whole relationship. But it didn't happen like that. But we know it's going to be a crazy ending to this whole storyline, because we know now Emmett has to go and tell Keisha exactly what Tiffany just did. Now, Tiffany, she goes back home, and Rob, he is there. I guess he canceled his flight or whatever. He said, you know what? He wants to stay there and be with her on Valentine's Day. But you can tell Tiffany, she's not really feeling it. She's just going through the motions. Deep down inside, she is very, very hurt. And she ain't really got a lot of clothes on up under that hoodie. I wonder what Rob is going to say when he finds out about that. We know Rob will find out about what Tiffany did, because in the episode 9 trailer, we can hear him, asking her about what happened. So I definitely can't wait to see how that's going to play out. Now we get to Treg and Fatima. I mean, he actually is having dinner while Tiara is there, and they're toasting to no more secrets. Look, we gonna see where this is gonna go. I mean, I hear a lot of talk from Treg, but I don't see no action. We gonna see if this whole thing about who he really likes comes out, or will he continue to do what he's been doing, which, was put on the front for this whole city council thing. Then we get to your girl Tiara. Tiara, she already knew what time it was. She knew Deja left. She's not going to just come down there. She came down there because she was ready, y'all. She was ready. She goes down there. She's telling Rashad how she likes him or whatever. She likes his company and all this stuff. Look, that girl wasn't playing around. She said, you know what? Ain't no use for both of us having a bad V-Day. We might as well just hang out and spend some time together. And she just goes and kisses your boy Rashad right on the lips. And he was tweaking out. He was like, whoa, hold up. And look at his face. Look at this man's face. He was tweaking out when she gave him that kiss, because he's probably been dreaming and hoping and praying that this would happen. I mean, this is probably the best V-Day that this man is ever going to have in his life. And you can just tell by how his eye is looking. I mean, he's tweaking out. Now, he tells her, like, look, I'm in a situation. She said, well, me too. So I guess they got something in common, like Bobby Brown. He wasn't playing around. She wasn't playing around. And he took that kiss. He brought her in. And we can pretty much assume what happened. That man Rashad clapped those cheeks. And even though he had a great time with Tiara, we know this is going to come back on him. I just hope he doesn't fall all the way down completely, because we know Deja was talking about all the stuff that she did for him and all this stuff. And I don't really want him to mess a good thing up. But man, your boy Rashad is going to definitely have to deal with the consequences of his actions, and everybody's going to be pissed off. I wonder what Treg is going to say when he finds out about what happened with him and Tiara. Look, Treg, you on Fatima, so you shouldn't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? In your relationship, it's just a play relationship with her. So We gonna see what he gonna say, y'all. But y'all let me know exactly what y'all think about your boy Rashad and Tierra and how y'all see it all playing out. Now we get to Gemma and her pops, and she's telling him how she felt bad about how everything played out, and she was, scared on how people would feel about, her having a baby and what they would say, and she did not want to disappoint him or Jake. And he pretty much tells her, like, look, don't worry about all that. He's there for her. He's been very supportive throughout this whole thing, and he continues to let her know that, look, you my daughter, I'm going to look out for you. It's going to be all right. Now, Jake does pop up. We know Gemma's talking about how she's never going to be the same after this. And Jake has to tell her, like, well, look, I'm not going to be the same too. So, like I told you guys earlier, it's not just about what Gemma's going through. Yes, we know it's hard for her, but it's hard for Jake as well. Now, we get to Lynnae and Papa and Bakari. She's reading the little note or whatever that he wrote on the card, and she likes it, but we know Papa wrote that is in his words, and Papa, we know he likes Lynnae too. Now, Bakari does come there, and he's telling her, like, look, can we go out or whatever? Can we hang out one day? And she tells him, like, well, yeah, we probably can, but you need to go and squash whatever issues you have with Jake first, because I know what you did. And Bakari, he's like, all right, he kind of got happy once she said that. We're going to see if this is going to change him. I told you guys after what happened in last week's episode, I was expecting, that event to make this dude be better. So hopefully that is the case. And we're going to see if this whole thing between him and Lynnae is going to actually work out. I don't know. It's still up in the air, especially seeing that Papa got feelings for her and he has feelings for her. And deep down inside, we know Kevin has feelings for Lynnae too. Now, we get to Emmett and Darnell, and Emmett comes there. He tells him, like, look, I'm giving you my blessings or whatever. You can go ahead and propose to moms. And Emmett tells his dad, like, man, Tiffany tried to screw him or whatever. And he asks him, did he do it? Of course, Emmett's like, no, I didn't do it. Now Darnell is happy. He's like, man, you didn't do it. He's feeling good. Emmett tells him, like, look, if I can change, so can you. So now Darnell is hyped. He's like, all right, I'm going to definitely go propose to Jada. And Darnell tells his son, like, well, you know what you got to do? You got to tell Keisha the truth about what happened. Emmett had that look on his face like, oh, no, I don't. I don't really want to do that. But Darnell made a point. He said, well, you need to. You need to be honest with Keisha. That way, she knows about this. And you did the right thing. You didn't mess up this time. So go ahead and tell her the truth. You guys let me know. Do y'all think Emmett's going to tell that girl the truth? I'm hoping he does. That way, he doesn't have to worry about any type of, stuff coming back, blowing up in his face. And that way, Keisha can know the truth from the very beginning. But we got to see what Tiffany going to be on. I don't know what this girl's going to be on. She just may lie in next week's episode. So we're going to see how that's going to play out. Now, at the end of the episode, Darnell proposes to Jada. Is, very nice. And as I told you guys, he's taking this serious. The things that he went through in this episode and in his past, it's played a major role. He said, you know what? I can't sit back no more. I might as well go ahead and get this over with. So now we're going to see Jada and Darnell tie the knot, and hopefully it actually works. They have developed so much. Darnell, he's trying to change his ways just like his son, and hopefully we can see, some good things happen within their relationship. But you guys let me know, man. What do you think about The Chi Season 5, Episode 8? What do you think is next? We know Duda will be returning in next week's episode, and we know it's going to be some drama, so I can't wait to see that. And I just want to know, man, what that girl Tiffany going to be on, because Rod will ask her questions about what happened between her and Emmett. And I would not be surprised if she lies, if she tries to do something to mess up anything Emmett has going for himself, but we shall see. But I want to thank you guys for all the love, all the support, and I will catch y'all on the next one. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.